So when we want to create a renovation view, once we've set all this, we want to save that view so that it contains all the information for that particular renovation setting. So for example, whenever we go to save a view, we can actually set the renovation filter. Again, we can select the demolition plan, we can select new construction, we can set existing plan, etc. And then once you've set that, it's going to contain the information for how you want that particular renovation view to look. Our tip of the week today is integrating design options into a renovation. So for this, I want to talk first about how to manage and how to use design options in 4 different ways. So first, design options can be used just as save as. So if you had a renovation, for example, or even just regular design, different options for design, you could just go save different iterations as different file types by simply going in File, Save As, save them as design option 1, 2, and 3, and those are all modeled independently and differently in different files as opposed to all being in one file. If it's all going to be in one file, then you would use one or a combination of these 3 options below, which is Layer Settings, Renovation Tool, and Design Options Tool. The layer settings, of course, allows you to, as I mentioned earlier, assign different layers to different layer combinations for a renovation option, and then it could just be a regular option as well for design options, and then to save that design option into my with a view into my view settings in the navigator. Or you could do a renovation, use a renovation tool, and use the pin feature to be able to assign different design options or renovation phasing to the renovation tool. And then fourth is the design options tool, which was just released in one of the recent versions. I think it was 27. And this particular version has become very popular now because you can now create different design options, assign them to different design option sets, and being able to control it that way as well. And again, as I mentioned, all of these different options I just described can be used together. It's not like you just have to use one or the other. So you might often have a combination of layer settings with design option tools, etc. So each of these are something that you use in combination as well. So for layers, the way it works, as I kind of mentioned earlier, but in a little more detail here, is that you can create different layers with different design option sets here. So I could have design option 1, 2, and 3. And I could assign that, for example, to my facade option 2, where I'm using design option 2. And you can see where that one's turned on for that particular design option, and the others are turned off. Once I've set that, I can then, when I save a view, I can save that view as the design option 2, and that becomes a new view setting. And then I can actually save that. And then, as I mentioned, you can actually have layer combinations that define these different options. So for example, you have facade option 3. And if I want to create a new layer combination, I create facade option 3. And then I assign design option 3 layer to the facade option 3 so that that one's on for that. And so anything on that layer would show only for this design option. Whereas other layers, like maybe for your floor plan lines or notes, certain walls you want to turn on and off, certain floor slabs, etc., would be on for maybe all of these different options, but only those elements that are specific to those design options would show for design or facade option 3. We can also use the renovation tool. Now this is until the design option tool came out, not in Archicad 27, this was the way that a lot of people would show different renovation or different design options within using the renovation tool. This now has been, I would say overridden, because there's still, and this is why I kept this in here, there are still applications for this that are very important for you to understand how to use this. So that's why I want to kind of take you through this. So here's a good example. So we kind of open up our renovation filter options, and let's say we create a new option. We call it design option 1, and then we can have design option 2, design option 3, very similar to layers. And then once we do that, we can begin to assign elements to this new renovation state. Our design options within the renovation settings. And so we can select and assign 3D elements and also 2D elements. So it works in either view, and it also could work in any other view as well, including elevations, sections, details, etc. And the way it works is we use what's called the pin option within our renovation settings. So if you open up your renovation palette, you will see this little pin option on the upper left-hand side. And whenever you select an element, again, whether it's in 2D or 3D, if you click that pin state, that means you're assigning that element to, and pinning it, if you will, to that design option that you created within the renovation filter. As I mentioned earlier, you could combine these so that you could have certain elements within a renovation filter that may be specific to renovation that you could have assigned for that. And that's also assigned within the design options tool as well. So again, a combination of how you can use these. And so now I can have a different facade, for example, in design option 1, that's pinned to design option 1, another design option that's a pin to option 2. And then when you go to your renovation palette and you go to these different design options, as you can see, it allows you now to cycle through these design options as part of your renovation palette. And our fourth option is the design options tool. Now, this is a tool that is available if you go to your document menu and go to design options and the design options palette at the bottom of that pop-up menu. And so once that's open, you go to design options palette, and you can see here where when it first opens, it auto shows the main model option, which is a default in here, and then you can create a new option set. And when you click the little new option set button there at the bottom left of the design options palette, it will then create this design option or new option set there as a default name, and then you rename that. You can call it third floor remodel, for example. Then you want to create new option or click the new option button for your options. So in this case, I do that. It creates a new option there. I can rename that to Master Suite. And then I could go and add another one for at the office. And then maybe I have deck shading options also as part of that. So again, we're combining different things here where we have a third floor remodel, but even within the third floor remodel, we might have a deck shading option 1 and a deck shading option 2. Once we've done that, we then need to assign elements to our design option sets. And the way we do that is either by selecting elements, opening up the settings of those elements, going down to classifications and properties, and selecting the option under the option status as option 1, option 2, option 3, etc. As we set within that our option settings. The other way you can do it is by relinking it using your design options palette. So for example, if I go and select this design option, or excuse me, select this shading device above the door, I could then go and select the option I want to be assigned to and hit the relink button. So maybe this was assigned to option 1 originally because it shows that in green. If I click the option 2 there, I can relink it to the option 2 using this option or using this method as well. And that is our Archicad tip of the week today. Let's go ahead and get into Archicad to discuss today's Learn Virtual.